Hey guys, how we doing? Um, it's late in the evening on Tuesday. You guys have watched your video. I just got off a webcast or a web seminar, whatever you want to call it, with AP. They had one tonight for math and computer science teachers. Basically, they talked a little bit more about the exam. You guys are going to get more information you want to know on how you're going to do it, what you're going to do. Um, in the coming weeks. Nothing real soon, but I think they said around the 28th was the date that they mentioned tonight. In fact, they're at some point they're even going to let you do a practice type thing. You can input data. You guys, or they surveyed a bunch of students. I don't know if you got surveyed or not, but they surveyed a lot of them on how you would like to do it, whether it be on pencil and paper or on a computer. It doesn't matter what you chose. You can choose any one of them up until when you take the exam. But I think when you take the exam, they're going to ask you what you want to do, whether it be on pencil and paper or whether it be on your computer. They will tell you what you need to do to type things, if something's a square root or all the p hats, x bars, all those things. But again, formatting is not going to be an issue at all. So don't worry about those type of things. Those things are the least of the worries. I did find out something interesting. They've actually been doing this prior to this year. They have had to give students online exams before. I didn't know that, but they have done that previously. So they've actually done this stuff before. They haven't done it with everybody like they're doing it this year. So that's going to be a little different. I jotted down some notes that you guys wrote, and so I want to kind of go through those, and because these questions are really good questions, and I want to make sure that I cover it with everybody. So I'll try to go through these fairly quickly. Um, are we really allowed to use Google? You are. You're allowed to have as many tabs open as you want. You can have Desmos. You can have whatever you need. You can have all that stuff. You will not have time to search answers. You will not have time to search in the book. You won't have time to search on the internet. You won't have time to talk to your buddies. You will not have time to do that. In fact, they led me to believe tonight that they'd be real surprised if you even finished. Pause. Okay, I'm back. Do not let that scare you. It's intended to be that way. You can still get a 5 without even finishing. That's what they said tonight. And again, I don't know if you're going to have time or not. That example that they gave us, that looked like that would take, that should not even come close to taking that amount of time. You will have 30 minutes to do, no, sorry, 25 minutes to do the first test. You will have a timer up in the, apparently what they said, you'll have a timer up in the right hand corner. When it gets down to 0, you start uploading. Do not go any further. They say if you go past that time, your score will be thrown out and you will not get scored. So no, you're going to have to keep an eye on that timer up there. When that timer comes down, you upload your assignment or your question. And again, they'll have all that stuff laid out. So you can have a Google tab open or anything else like that. I don't think you'll have time to use it. Somebody else asked, what's to keep us from FaceTime or anything else? They have explicitly stated, and I don't know how, and they've done everything but threaten, they will catch you. And if they catch you, they will do 3 things. They will throw your score out. They will tell the college, and they will tell the high school. Now, a lot of you, the high school, it won't matter whatsoever. But they will tell the college also that they caught you cheating on the AP test. So, as he stated, don't do it. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. So don't even think about trying to cheat. Just do what you're supposed to do. Give the knowledge that you know that you can give, and just do it. Don't even try it. They said don't. It's I don't know how they're going to do it, and but they got their ways, and they've had kids on there that came on tonight even said, yeah, they caught us from doing it, and again, they didn't tell you how they did it because that would defeat the purpose if they tell you how to do it. How much do we need to get right to get a passing score? Somebody asked me that. I don't know. They don't do any of that stuff till after they grade it. So they grade it. They look at everybody's scores. They kind of start looking on how hard the exam was, what everybody else did, what's a good representation for a good score. So they always cut the scores after the test. They don't do it before. And even this year with the 2 questions, they're going to look to see how much knowledge they have. Amount of calculator use, I don't think you'll need a calculator at all. I do not think. From what I read there, from what I heard tonight, the most you might have would be a 4 simple, if you're worried about addition and subtraction. They mentioned in a calculus test, don't reduce anything because that might dock you points if you reduce it wrong. So just don't change anything. If it happens to be a probability question and you got 4 over 20, leave it as 4 over 20. Don't change that thing to 1/5 because if somebody may change that to 1/6, who knows? Just leave it. They don't care about that stuff. I do not think you'll need a calculator whatsoever. Box plots, that's a big one. So I'll come back to box plots. How likely will the test look like those examples? I don't know. Those guys have been doing this a long, long time. They've been table leaders. They've been readers. They've written books. Those 2 guys have been in there a long time, and they that's one of the games that they play is try to predict what the questions are going to do. Last year they hit 2 of them darn near dead on, but I mean I can hit 2 of them dead on. They're going to ask an inference question, 2 sample prop, something like that. They're going to ask an inference question. So this year I don't think you can hit it dead on because there's only going to be 2 questions. What evidence went into the speculations? Again, these guys have been doing it a long, long time. There's no evidence whatsoever. They don't know anything. They don't have any insight to the questions. They're coming. AP is supposed to come out with example questions. That's coming up around the 26th, I think I heard tonight. I wrote down 2 different dates, so I told you 28th earlier. Anyway, AP is going to stats are going to come out with some example type questions that you're going to see, and when they do, we'll hit those as hard as we can. I'll probably just give them to you flat out and just ask you what you would do. What grew to the 4.5%? I don't remember what that one was. Using symbols on the exam, X bar, P hat. I don't have a clue what to do. Again, that's all going to be laid out for you. You will know prior to that exam and at least a week before, if not 2 weeks before. Again, you have the option to write the test or to type the test. And symbols and things like that are not going to be an issue. And they may even have a symbol type thing that you can click on. They mentioned that you can do it on Word or you can do it on a Google Doc. There's going to be different kinds of avenues you can do. You can download it and print it. And like I said, you can write it and then take pictures. That's going to be the least of your concerns. And I know that part of your concerns is all that, how that's going to work. Statistically significant. What does that mean? If something is statistically significant, that means that you are too far away from that mean, you have to reject it. And if you're too far away, that p-value is really low, then you have to reject it. That is statistically significant. So again, that was one of the questions somebody asked. I want to make sure you know that. How to make a confidence level out of number 2. I didn't read the question very well. I need to go back and hit that one. Whoever that was, I'll get you those. Computer output. They mentioned computer printout. If they're going to do anything with linear regression, and again, we will hit that real hard. I don't know if we'll do it next week, but at some point we're going to hit the linear regression pretty hard because I know it's been a long, long time. It's bivariate data. They will have us do a computerized printout. Remember that computerized printout that gives you the slope and gives you the y-intercept, and it gives you some other things on it too. Again, I'll go through one of those really, really well. The other things we don't need because that's chapter 16 and that's not on a test. But computerized printout, the mini tab output, that's something we'll make sure we hit before the testing date. 30 minutes, 25 community tabs open, keyboarding tips, Google or Word. Don't do stuff that will nullify your score. Just don't do it. They emphasize that. Trevor Packer is the man with AP. He's in charge of all AP, and he said, he's just said, "We'll catch you. Don't try it. And if you do think you're going to get it above it, if you get caught, again, what they're going to do is not give you a score. They're going to take all your scores away. So any of your scores will get taken away. They will contact your college that you're going to, because you got to have your score sent there so they know. And then they also will contact the high school. So if you're, I don't know, if you're underage or not underage, but you're non-senior, they will contact the high school. They will still grade with E, P's, and I's. That was one thing that they told me tonight. That was another question someone did ask me. Again, that doesn't matter that much to you. Your job is just to tell them what you know. Tell them what you know, get it out there. Amount of calculator we talked about. Again, I don't think you'll need a calculator at all. Okay, so box plots. We need to talk a little bit about that. And I didn't get this. I didn't get this going. Here, let me hit pause again and get this set up. All right, I'm back, guys. I made myself a little smaller. Let me talk about these box plots, and this is something. This is all on me, guys. All on me. I didn't explain this very well. I just didn't think about it. So let's get this and fixed, and fortunately now from now on, I'll make sure that my students can get this figured out. Box plots does not show shape very well at all. You can see some skewness if it has skewness, but approximately normal, we need to get away from that from a box plot. Use the word symmetric. Don't say a box plot's approximately normal because you don't know it. And here's some examples that I have in my calculator right now. Stats edit. Here's data set. Oh, that's out of focus. 1, 2, 3, 4. Did I not? Which one? Oh, here it is. Number 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And I went all the way to 12. So second y equals, that was L3. Happens, delete that. Okay, L3, zoom, graph. That was a box plot. I didn't want the box plot. I wanted a histogram. Graph. Dang it. L3, that's what I thought it was. Oh, I delete. Do I need to do 1? Graph. There we go. Graph. It's a uniform distribution, straight across. 1 through 12, uniform distribution. If I turn that to a box plot, I'll even do modified box plot. Graph. That looks, what I would say and what you guys have been able to say, that looks approximately normal. What's a uniform distribution? It's nowhere close to approximately normal. But that looks good, and that's what it's going to look like. It's going to look directly across like that. The median's going to be right in the middle. The ends are going to be like that, but that's a uniform distribution. Now I got another one right here. This is what I did. Stat edit. I did the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, but then this is how often it happens. So 1 happens 3 times, 2 happens 3 times, 3 happens 20 times. The rest of these were 3, and here's another 20. So it's second y equals, so it happens, the frequency is L4. I know we never dealt with this frequency. Now graph that one. Whoops, dang it. I want to look at the box plot first. Box plot, look at that. Bimodal distribution. No doubt, that's bimodal. There's 2 high ones, there's 1 in the low. And I should have done this even a little bit further so I could really spread that out even further. But again, you guys kind of get the picture. Enter, modified box plot. Look at there. Looks beautiful. Looks approximately normal. Well, it's not. It's bimodal distributions. So a box plot does not ever tell you that a distribution is approximately normal. It tells you what it says symmetric. That's the word we need to use. Now, let's go back to all of our inferences, because all year in our inferences, all this semester, we've been doing a box plot, and we say the box plot looks approximately normal. Let's get away from that. Let's don't say that, because we should not say that. What the box plot tells us is that it doesn't look not normal. How about that? There's no outliers. There's nothing crazy going on there. There's no reason why we do not think we can't use a normal distribution. Okay. It leaves a lot for interpretation, leaves a lot of openness, leaves a lot of wishy-washy, but that's kind of what AP does. In real life, you're going to take a big sample, and so it's not going to matter what the graph looks like, right? You're going to get a big enough sample where the distribution is going to be approximately normal. You're going to have over 30. Our AP doesn't do over 30. Now, on the flip side of that, I don't, on the AP exam, they're not going to have you graph it, because we're not going to need a calculator, and they wouldn't have you graph it without a calculator. They wouldn't do that. They're not going to waste their time on you making a box plot. Okay. They might give you a box plot and ask you about it. So if they do give you a box plot and it looks like this, let's don't use the word approximately normal. Again, this is my fault. So we got to fix this. I want you to fix it. Let's just say it's symmetric. Okay. We'll say it's symmetric. So if they ask you to describe that distribution, we'll say it's symmetric with the center right at whatever that is. I don't know. I can hit trace and find it, but who cares? With the center and the spread. Okay. So box plots don't tell us what the shape is. It just tells us basically what the shape is not. It has no outliers. It does not look skewed. It will look skewed, right? We can show it skewed because it'll make that tail go out there further. But again, it can't show, and even then we can't. I mean, I guess we could still say skewed left or skewed right, but approximately normal, we can't say that, and that's one of those things I don't guess I ever really thought of until they said it on that lecture the other night. Again, I apologize for that one being so long, but it was so informative. I wanted to go through and cut out some of the stuff, but like I said, I lost my internet that night, so I couldn't download it and couldn't cut it and upload it again. My data wouldn't allow me to do that. Sorry for taking a lot of time tonight. I've kind of rambled tonight again, but there were quite a few questions that I thought were going to be beneficial to all you guys. Your homework tonight, or what I got you to do in tomorrow and the next day is I did what I said I was going to do. I found 8 former questions. These are 8 previous AP questions. All I want you to do is tell me the type of inference. Is it one sample? Is it 2 samples? Is it means? Is it proportions? Or is it a test or an interval? Match pairs are on there also. And I just made it a Google Doc. So I made it a Google Doc. You can read it. You read the scenario right there. You can actually see what their question is going to ask. I didn't ask you what the question. I mean, I just want to know what test is it going to be. What is the name? It's a multiple choice, so you pick it, and then you go down to the next one and you pick it. Right? It's not a test or anything else, guys. This is for you. It's for you. So we'll I'll take care of all that stuff later on. I don't care if you get it right or wrong. If you get it right, I put a little blurb at the end of it to tell you why you got it right. If you got it wrong, hopefully I'll give you a little hint of why you got it wrong. I think I let you do this more than one time. Again, it's all up to you. I'll look through them again just to see what's going on, but I don't condone you, or I won't think, God, what an idiot. How'd you miss this one? Right? I'm not going to do that. It's all for my information too. So inference is still this week right now. And then, like I said, starting next week at some point, we'll start hitting some of the first chapter stuff. I know probability was one of the big things. I always get that every year. Probability, linear regression stuff, I always hit that real hard before the exam. And then, of course, distributions, shape, center, spread, describing it, that kind of stuff. And then by the time we get done reviewing several of these things, they're going to have some of those practice questions out that I think will help us. And then I found some of the teachers have already written some of their own practice questions too. And so I'd like to give you guys one of those too at some point, just to practice and see what you do and how you would grade it and that kind of stuff. Again, we're speculating on all that stuff on how it's going to be graded. Um, that's all I got for you guys today. Sorry I took so long. I'm at 20 minutes, so I've met my requirements of 20 minutes. That's what I'm supposed to do. Um, the admin wants you guys to see us, and so here I am. I wear a hat now all the time because my hair is god awful. It's getting long. I don't like it. I actually gave myself a haircut last night on the sides and the back. I just got a pair of clippers. And I just went up, and so now my top's real getting long, and I may just buzz the whole thing. I don't know. I can't stand it. Um, Getting fatter because all I do is sit in front of this computer all day and go eat something, come back and sit down. And today I got a little bit of exercise, but now I got cold, so now I can't even go outside. I don't like cold. Stay with it, guys. If you're getting anything out of this, we're getting prepared for that AP exam, and that again, they have assured today. They've talked to colleges. The colleges are going to accept it. If you do well enough on this exam, they're going to say there's no doubt that you know what you're talking about. Even without the last two chapters, you know what you're talking about. They're going to give you credit. So let's practice what we can. Let's get it down. I want you guys to pass this thing, not for me. I want you to pass it for you. And so that's what I'm going to try to do is help you get there. All right, guys, we'll talk at you later. See ya.